I consider myself an environmental writer, quite honestly, because I think I'm a journalist at heart. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. I delivered my hometown paper, the Richmond Times-Dispatch, from the time I was 10 years old, and I really fell in love with newspapers. I was with the Atlanta Constitution, and I wrote for them for 25 years. After 3 years in Atlanta, they sent me to Tokyo as our chief Asia correspondent. I spent a lot of time in China. I covered the Tiananmen Square protests and the tragic aftermath of that. I covered the democracy revolution in Korea. I covered the Hong Kong handover back to China. I was in India when Rajiv Gandhi was killed. I was in Afghanistan when the Mujahideen were running the Soviets out. But that came to an end. They brought me to Washington. I was fortunate in that I covered 4 years of Clinton and 4 years of George W. Bush. So I saw two very different people take two very different approaches to the White House, each legitimate in its own way, each supported by its own constituents, each a part of our American democratic system. But what you get out of that is that it really matters how we work with each other. And we're not going to get anywhere if we don't work to find and build common ground. The climate book with Francis was an attempt to take something that a lot of people thought was a problem, but maybe a remote one, and nail down to them, no, this is a problem. It threatens us all, and the solutions can make our country stronger, they can make our economy better, they can make us more secure, they can make a healthier future for our children. Francis was very clear about what the book needed to do and how we needed to go about it. The idea was something you could read in 2 hours on the airplane, something that could slip into your lapel pocket, a paperback, that was very accessible but very authoritative at the same time. With the Gulf book, it was a real opportunity to take a breaking news story and make it relevant to people by saying, here's what happened, here's what led to it, and here's where we need to go from here as a nation. I think somehow in the marrow of my bones, I got it in my head that this was really important to tell the story of who we are. Not only who we are, but who we can become, how we can be better, how we can take better care of what we have and be better stewards